Hello, I'm Jason Marsalis, and I'm here to talk about the Marimba 1 Jason Marsalis signature mallets. A few years ago, Jeff Hartsaw from Marimba 1 approached me about endorsing their line of vibraphones. It's a company that of course, has marimba in their name, but they have marimba and they have sets of vibes as well, and they wanted to bring me on to endorse their company. And in doing so, he also was interested in me having my own line of mallets. And since he gave me an offer I could not refuse, I decided to join Marimba 1, and we did indeed get together to design the Jason Marsalis signature mallets. And this video is to discuss the different mallets and what they are and what sounds we hope to produce and various details to give some insight into the types of mallets that hopefully you will be buying and what it is that you will be buying if you have these mallets. Right now, though, I would like to give a shout out to Marimbology, Tim Collins, and Mike Newmeyer. They have YouTube channels and they actually reviewed my signature mallets, so I would like to thank them for doing that. So, on to discussing the Jason Marsalis signature mallets. To start this discussion about the mallets, I'd like to talk about what has influenced the sound of the mallets. And I would have to say that music of the 20th century has influenced the sound of the mallets. So for instance, there's the sound of the great Lionel Hampton. If you listen to the early recordings of Lionel Hampton from the 30s, he had a very bright, articulate sound, and there was a really hard attack. And since he was from the swing era and they were about playing for dances, and that attack was very important, and that swing rhythm was very important. Now, if you move a little later to the great Milt Jackson, you start to get a softer sound and a softer attack, and also the articulation was a bit different from Lionel Hampton's. It was a little more legato, and so the way that he would articulate the notes and his mallet sound was quite different from Lionel Hampton's. So there was that. You also have a vibraphonist such as Bobby Hutcherson, who his sound, I would say, is kind of in the middle of Hamp and Baggs, but he was really the first modern player, and he influenced vibraphonists today, such as Steve Nelson and Stephon Harris, Warren Wolf, and Joel Ross. So there's that sound. You also had vibraphonists who, in the 1970s, while they started off with swing, they started to venture into different avenues of the music, such as Gary Burton, Roy Ayers, Mike Maneri, and Victor Feldman. And so, you have that kind of sound. And you also have vibes that was used in popular music, such as the Beach Boys album Pet Sounds, and even Isaac Hayes' soundtrack Shaft. The love theme was a vibes feature, and there's even a great song from Eddie Kendricks called Keep On Truckin', and that has vibes in it. They play some parts, and they even have a short solo feature in it. So with all of those things and all of those references from music, all of those things is what inspired the various sounds that you hear on these mallets. One question that I got about these mallets, which was a very interesting one, was what did I want the colors to be? And so that's something that I have to give some thought. In fact, I had a discussion with my wife, Kaya, about this, and she offered some ideas. And we decided to make the colors Louisiana themed. So for instance, red is just a personal favorite color of mine. I've also played on mallets which were red, so the red and black mix is what that's about. Green and purple represents Mardi Gras. The green is in purple. These are prominent colors you find in Mardi Gras. And also this purple is also a color used by the LSU Tigers, Louisiana State University. And this is also black and gold, which is, of course, the New Orleans Saints. And so we decided to go for those colors. And it's very Louisiana, New Orleans themed. And so for those who are wondering what inspired these colors, there's your answer. These are the JMR1 mallets, and these are hard, which means that it's great for really cutting through the band, and it has a hard attack to just have a louder sound. And this is great for either big band or maybe a rock band or a funk band, or something where the vibes have to really cut through the group and cut through the volume. And so this is great for sort of volume projection, and also just the attack, it really comes through. So here's a sample of what the JMR1 mallet sounds like. This is the JMR2 mallet. Now this one is more all-purpose. It's great playing either loud or soft. It's good for projection, but it isn't as hard as the R1 mallets. This has a little bit of a warmer sound, and this is great for like small groups or combos, and it can be used for other bands, like if you're playing ballads or slower tempos, but this is like all purpose. It can go for, like I said, rock or funk bands or any kind of music. You'll have a mellower sound and you won't have as much attack as the R1 mallets, but this R2 still has good attack and good projection. So if you don't want something as bright as the JMR1 mallets, the JMR2s are really good for that. And here's a sample of what those mallets sound like. These are the JMR3 mallets, and the purpose of these mallets is for soft playing, such as playing ballads or playing mood music or playing music for relaxation or for meditation. This was inspired a lot by a Milt Jackson model mallet, where Milt Jackson would have these really big mallets for a really soft, mellow sound. And he had that kind of sound even when he would play. So this is good for just ballads and just softer playing. And it has just a good resonant sound, but a softer attack. So here's what the JMR3 mallets sound like. These are the JMR4 mallets. And these mallets are also for softer playing, but unlike the JMR3s, this has a little more attack. It isn't a hard attack, but it is a present attack. So it's good for either playing ballads or even up-tempo, but maybe softer up-tempo music. It's good for playing in small combos if you're playing with a rhythm section, or if you're playing duets with bass or piano. And so these have a good mellow sound, but it has a little more of a punch just to bring out some more attack. But it's a nice warm attack. So it's something that works for smaller group settings and for slower playing as well. And here's what the JMR4s sound like. Right now, this is the portion of the video in which we have the mallets in action. We have live performance clips of me using these mallets, so you can get to hear what they sound like in group settings. The first clip that you're going to see is with the Lionel Hampton Big Band featuring yours truly. I feel very privileged to be selected as the vibraphonist from the Lionel Hampton estate for the Lionel Hampton Big Band, and those are some very serious shoes to fill. But since it's big band, the JMR1 mallets were perfect for that ensemble, and this clip is of us playing the tune Air Mail Special. This next video features the JMR2 mallets, and this is with a group that I lead called the 21st Century Trad Band, the Benny Goodman Edition. This is the same instrumentation of the Benny Goodman Quartet that consisted of Benny Goodman on clarinet, Lionel Hampton on vibraphone, Teddy Wilson on piano, and Gene Krupa on the drums. And so this group setting is good to have the all-around mallets. And so I often play chords and I play solos, but I wanted a little bit of a warmer sound than the JMR1 mallets. And so that's what is featured in this upcoming clip. Enjoy. This next clip is of the JMR3s, and this performance was a little different from performances I've done before. This was music for meditation and relaxation, and so these were a lot of soft chords, sustained chords, and not a lot of fast playing. And so this really features the mellow aspect, not only of the vibraphone, but of the mallets. And so that noise that you'll hear in the background is the sound of beach waves. So that is a part of the video, and we hope you will enjoy this sample. This last clip that you're going to see is a bit personal for me because it's from a recording session that I did with my father, pianist Ellis Marsalis. Unfortunately, he passed away on April 1st of 2020, and this turned out to be his last recording session. And I'm very privileged and honored that we were to do vibes and piano together, because it was the only time that we had recorded in that situation. And for this session, I'd used the JMR4s because they have good attack, but also a good mellow sound. And in an interesting moment, the sound engineer at the studio was concerned that the vibes were going to be too loud, because I wanted the vibraphone in the same room as the piano. And the engineer was concerned, well, maybe this will bleed into the piano and it will be too loud. And so when I played on the mallets a little bit, he realized, oh, this isn't going to be loud at all. So we were able to be in the same room and record music not in different rooms, but in the same big room. So we hope that you will enjoy this clip from that recording session. Some final thoughts on these mallets. One, I wanted to discuss the length a little bit, because these are a longer length, but that was a personal preference of mine, because I found that I wasn't as comfortable with the shorter length of vibraphone mallet, like if I'm playing up here compared to down here. But that was just a personal choice of mine. Also, just for the record, I do use the Lee Howard Stevens grip, which is different, which is more of a marimba grip, I know, but that is what I use, and it is different from the Gary Burton grip. So, so this length had that in mind. Also, wanted to talk a little bit about the order, because you may notice that the mallets, it goes from small and then a little bigger and then really big, but then small again. Usually the size would be more like this, where it's like small, smaller, and small, and then bigger, and then bigger, and then the biggest one. The reason that this happened was because, to be honest, I only thought that we were making 2 pairs of mallets, not 4 pairs. So I was I'm helping the Marimba One design mallets with these 2 in mind. And so once I realized that the 4th was smaller than the 3rd, I just didn't care and just said, oh, well, that's just how it's going to be. And I just went along with it. So for those of you curious about the size discrepancy, that's why that has happened. Now, ironically, if you listen to the records that I've made as a leader on vibes, these mallets actually symbolize the order of the first 4 songs on these albums. The first tune is usually a medium up-tempo tune, which is like a burning tune. The second tune is maybe like more medium, just sort of a medium mood, if you will. Changes the mood from the first. You know, the first is like a really burning one, and the medium one kind of chills things down a little bit, but still has a nice tempo. The third is a ballad, something that's slow. And then the 4th is back to medium and up, but it's a slightly different mood from the previous tune. So, ironically enough, this mallet order also represents the orders of tunes from the 3 albums that I've done as a leader on vibes. So, those are the closing thoughts. We hope that this video has been informative in terms of what these mallets are for, and we hope that these have the kind of sounds that you're looking for, and we hope that you will enjoy playing on these mallets. Thank you very much.